The Modern Man tutorials. Breaking up, or after heartbreak. That's what I want to say, heartbreak. So, guys handle heartbreak differently than women do. This goes back to the whole guys fuck up, women fuck down after breakups. So, after a relationship ends, typically guys tend to fuck up, as in they tend to upgrade, they tend to do better after a breakup, as opposed to females, right? Women, females, right? They tend to fuck down. And which is unfortunate. Of course, you have to understand that they don't think they're fucking down. They always think they're fucking up, right? They always think that they're upgrading. I mean, as you can see, you know, in the world, how a lot of these ladies out here, complaining about, their past relationships. They always, if you hear what they say about their, the guys that they were with before, you tend to notice that those guys were actually really good guys. There was just like one or two things that happened that now, they're not in a relationship no more. Like, let's say, for example, the guy was great, was, personality was great. He was cool, he was a decent person, but let's say he cheated. So that now makes him not a decent person anymore, right? So he cheated. So she leaves him. Now she expects the next guy to be better. So to add to the example, let's say the guy that she was with that cheated on her, he's overweight, he lives with his mom, and he works at McDonald's. As a hypothetical example, right? So clearly she's not with him because of where he lives and how he, of his fitness, or, his, his finances. She's with him because of who he is as a person, his personality. How she makes him feel is what mattered. Until he cheated, then suddenly that stuff don't matter anymore. Now, she expects the next guy to have a job, to not live in his mom's house, and to be in better shape. And of course, not to cheat. That's her ideal guy. That's her, she knows her worth now, right? That's what she wants next. The next guy has to be better than the last guy. That's what she likes to think, right? So that's what most females do, right? They want to believe that the next guy is going to be better than the last guy. But from what I've seen online, in person, and even through my own personal experience with the ladies, that this whole idea of trying to find a guy who's better than the last guy tends to not work out too well. It's very rare that they do end up with a guy that's better than the last guy. But you have to understand what it is at first she went for personality, right? After personality broke her heart, now she's looking for possession, right? She's looking for materialistic things. Now she's going to be superficial. So before, she cared about the person. Now she cares about the things the person has or does. So now she's going to judge every other guy, right, based off of her past experience. So she turns essentially the good things. I mean, I gave it a pretty shitty example of a guy overweight, working at McDonald's, living in his mom's basement. But ironically, those are supposed to be the good qualities of him, right? And she's going to use those good qualities in this hypothetical example as red flags. So if a guy lives in his mom's basement, red flag. If he works at McDonald's, red flag. If he's overweight, red flag, right? Now, originally, these weren't red flags, but now they are. So that's the thing. She's turning all the green flags into red flags. Even being a nice guy. Like, the guy was nice. Okay, he cheated. All right? He had no dick discipline, right? He let his penis make a decision instead of his heart, right? So he made a bad choice. Clearly, he wasn't perfect, but that's the thing. No one is, so there's that. I guess that's another topic, right? No one's perfect. But he, he made a mistake, right? He made a bad decision, I should say. Not really a mistake, because more likely the other chick is probably way better in many, many aspects. But that's besides the point. The thing is, she's going to turn everything that was green flag that she didn't have an issue with before. Now she's going to turn into an issue. So now the next guy cannot be overweight, living with their mom, or work at McDonald's. He has to be quote unquote better, right? But doesn't realize that those things, those qualities, those things that you are saying that makes the guy better, has nothing to do with his personality. That just has to do with his lifestyle. Okay, he's in better shape, maybe because he likes women, right? And he wants to look good so he can get laid, which is why he's in shape. Not because he's a decent human being. I mean, we're not going to say he's not. I'm just saying, let's not assume he's a good person. He's loyal, faithful, won't cheat on you just because he's in shape. A guy in shape is more likely to cheat on you than a guy out of shape, right? The point is, right there, is that if cheating happens, it's going to happen, right? And that's for a different topic of why cheating happens, why a guy, regardless of if he's attractive or not, why cheating happens. That's for a different topic, right? But like I said, just because a guy has more money doesn't mean he's a good person. Just because a lot of other people like him doesn't mean he's actually a decent person, right? So it's better to get to know the person, and judge them that way, right? In other words, don't judge a book by its cover. But after, like I said, for women, like for females, right, when a heartbreak happens, they start judging a book by its cover. When they were younger and they started liking guys, right, liking boys, they started judging them by the context of their personality, their character. After a couple heartbreaks, then it becomes all superficial. It becomes all about the cover, right? They don't even care about the context, right? The content of the book anymore. Now they're judging based on the cover. Which, ironically, guys are supposed to be the ones, they're superficial, right? Guys are supposed to be the ones judging on the outside more than the inside, right? But when heartbreak happens for a guy, the reverse happens, which is, we start focusing more on who she is on the inside than she is on the outside. Because when we first started having interest in girls, we thought they were cute, we thought they were pretty, right? When we were young. The older we get, it's like, oh, she's hot, she's sexy, she's a 10, blah blah blah, right? All right, so for us, automatically, it is superficial. But then we get to know them. But with a couple heartbreaks, then it's like, okay, I need a chick that's nice, who's not an asshole, who supports me, not tries to shit on me. So when I talk about like, oh, I have a dream to be a billionaire or something, she doesn't immediately be like, no, that will never happen. You don't have the potential for that, that kind of stuff. You want somebody supportive, right? Somebody positive. And all the other good stuff. So guys start getting into the whole, they care about what's inside the book instead of the cover, right? But at first, the cover looks nice. Oh, I'm interested in this. But after a while, I was like, okay, I need the contents of the book to actually be interesting, worth my time, right? So that's the difference between a guy, going through a heartbreak, and a girl going through a heartbreak, right? It's the whole 180 thing, right? They flip the script. So females originally will start off being interested in the guy's personality. Certain personality traits about him got her attention, got her to like him. But then after some heartbreaks, don't know how many. I doubt it's the first heartbreak that tends to do this, but the first heartbreak definitely starts the process, right? I don't know how many heartbreaks it takes before, you go crazy and all you want to do is be the sugar baby of a billionaire and you have a body count of 300. I don't know how many heartbreaks it takes to get to that point. I mean, with a body count of 300, I guess 300 heartbreaks, I guess. Or something like that. Maybe not even. Maybe it was like 5 heartbreaks and then bang. After that, just no more relationship, just straight, just sex. So it's hard to say. Where it just becomes superficial, where it's like, yeah, it's just sex. There's no love, there's no respect, there's no, interest in the person. Not even remembering these guys' names. Some chicks out here with 300 plus body count, and I doubt they can name them all. You know what I mean? Shit, I can name all of the chicks I've been with. At least their first names. Ironically, most of the names tend to be the same. There's a lot of Jessicas in my past, Emily's, and the list goes on. So it's just the interesting idea, right? Just thinking, about like how what you initially cared about suddenly becomes less, right? The things that was a green flag suddenly become red flags. And I see that a lot, especially when, like on TikTok, when girls make those TikTok videos. Oh, this is a red flag, this is a red flag, this is a red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm like, the only reason those would be a red flag right now, and I don't see a lot of those being red flags. Like, let's say one of the red flags is he won't let me go out to the club with my, single female friends. It's like, that's not a red flag. That would actually be a green flag. That means he actually cares. If he lets you go to the club and totally supports the idea of you going to clubs with your single female friends, there's a high probability it's because he needs you out the house so he can cheat on you. That's a high probability. Right? That's one scenario. Another scenario is he doesn't care if you cheat. Right? Because to him, all you are is utility. So he doesn't care about your personality. He doesn't care to try to, keep you to himself. He has no problem letting you roam free, right? As long as you come back, give him what he wants, he'll let you go right back out into the streets, right? Roam free. You know what I mean? Like, ladies gotta be smarter than that. Like, if he's okay with you going to the club, he don't care. Right? So, like I said, not letting you go to clubs is a green flag, but they want to turn it into a red flag. And the only reason why is because they were with a guy, she was in love, it was great, the relationship was great. He was against her going to the club and whatnot, and she more likely respected it and didn't go to the club and whatnot. But something happened. I'll use cheating. Cheating tends to be the common, complaint among the ladies. Let's say he cheated. Okay. And I'm not even going to give context of why it happened and why it was, because it kind of makes it excusable why it happened. Let's just say he just cheated. That's it. So he cheated. Boom. She leaves him. Well, now she makes the whole club thing an issue. Well, he never let me go to the club, blah, blah, blah. So now the next guy can't tell her not to go to the club. Because then now that's a red flag. Like, oh, just like my ex who cheated on me, didn't let me go to the club. And now you got to let me go to the club. If you don't, red flag. Instead of being a green flag. Because originally it was a green flag. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem before. It was a good thing before. But now it's a bad thing because you're associating it with the fact that, well, he cheated, which I agree was a bad thing, but doesn't automatically turn the whole you not going to the club thing into him not letting you go to the club thing into a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing. If anything, he did the opposite of what he told you not to do, right? He's trying to prevent you from cheating by not going to the club and whatnot, but then he cheated. So he didn't practice what he preached, right? He was trying to prevent you from doing something that he actually ended up doing. For all you know, he went to a club, and that's how he cheated. He went to the club. So he told you not to go to a club, but then he went to a club, and then he ended up cheating, right? As an example. So clubs are for single people, not for people in relationships. So I would never tell a guy, your girl can't go to the club, but you can. Bullshit. There's a lot of guys out in the red pill community that try to tell guys that, it's only a problem if a girl tries to go to the clubs. It's like, no, it's also a problem if a guy who's in a relationship goes to a club. Unless you have the type of relationship where it's not a problem for you to go to the club, but she can't, then that's between y'all two. That's y'all relationship. But in general, clubs are for single people, so single people can hook up and get together and not be single anymore. That's what the club is for, right? So it's not a chill spot. It's not a hangout spot. It's not Disneyland. A lot of adults like to treat clubs like it's Disneyland, like it's the adult version of Disneyland. Like, no, it's not. It's for hooking up. It's a IRL version of a dating app, essentially. You go to the club to find somebody, right? Granted, clubs might not be the best place to find people, but hey, it is a place you can try to find somebody, right? You're more likely to get somebody at a club than if you were trying to go to like a Starbucks or something. Not saying you can't. I mean, the most common places I go to when I'm looking for some available ladies would be places like Starbucks and whatnot, maybe Wawa or something similar to, wherever the ladies are going to be, especially if they're going to be there for a while. Like, I like stuff like places like Starbucks because more likely they're not just coming in to get a coffee or whatever drink and then just leave. Sometimes they'll get a drink and they'll sit down and wait, be on their phone, and that gives you an opportunity to spark up a conversation. Well, first it opens up the opportunity for you to get attention. First and foremost, you always got to get their attention, get them to notice that you notice them, and then noticing them, right? So get the attention, have them acknowledge that you exist, because typically, especially if they're on their phone, they're not paying attention to the surroundings, so they don't know that there's people around them. So you want to stand out. You want them to notice that you're there. So attention first. So attention, then, retention, which is retaining the attention, right? Making sure that they keep showing some interest in the fact that you're showing interest, or that you're paying attention. So they want more of your attention. So they'll do stuff to get you to look over. I've been in a scenario where, I look at a chick, we make some eye contact, but I look away and, I'd be on my phone or doing something else or eating or something, and, she'll make noises. It'd be quiet as hell in the place that we're at, but she'll make noises. She'll start moving things around. If she has a purse, she'll start digging in there and starts making noise with her keys or something, which draws my attention to her. And then she'll like peek at the corner of her eyes. So we're making a little bit of eye contact again. It's like, I see what you're doing. You're trying to get my attention. You like my attention. That's good. It's good that you like my attention. That means you want it. Since you want it, I'll give it to you. I'll give you as much as you want. And, we'll go from there. And maybe I'll get something that I want. Basic stuff, right? But this is about heartbreak, right? This is after, I'm trying to give it advice and information, right? For guys to help them get to even get to the point of heartbreak, right? You get to the point of the relationship ending. You can't end the relationship that never started, right? So I try to teach you how to start a relationship. If it ends, that's unfortunate. And hopefully, y'all can handle it. I'll try to make a couple more videos on how to handle, a breakup, basically. So this is technically a video for that series of handling breakups, because, I do see online there a lot of guys, have no problem getting in relationships. It's just either they have an issue maintaining, right, keeping the relationship, or the relationship ends and they're not even interested in starting a new one because, the last one, heartbreak, right, broke them. And I don't like that. It's like, no, don't give up. The relationship was good and whatnot. Don't give up on the relationship, right? Yeah, heartbreak sucks, right? But your heartbreaks do heal, and you do get stronger, and stronger means better, which means you'll love more. That means you have a strong heart, right? It's just like exercise. Your heart is a muscle. It needs exercise. So heartbreak actually makes your heart stronger, better. Don't try to, create an armor. Try to make your heart callous, hardened, and don't want love. No. Make it stronger so it can have more love. So it can do better next time. always try to do better next time. And like I said before, guys fuck up, they typically don't fuck down. It's very rare if a guy fucks down. Guys tend to fuck up. It's the ladies that tend to fuck down, and I always want them to fuck up. All my exes, you know, most of them doing really good, which is, you know, I'm happy for. Some not doing so well, and I wish they were, because, you know, they should, you know, fuck up, right? They should do better. You know, I don't want them to do worse, but I can't control that, right? The only thing I can control was you know, me being in a relationship with them. That's all I had control over, right? So they're not with me no more. So whatever happens in their life it's on them. They gotta do better. I mean, if they hit me up, you know, with wanting some advice to do better, you know, to fuck up, I'd gladly help them how to, you know, do better and fuck up instead of fucking down. You know, do better than me. I always want them to find a guy who's better than me. I'm not perfect, which means there's always going to be a guy better than me, you know, who's going to be nicer than me, stronger than me, taller than me, faster, you know, wealthier than me, you know, whatever, you know, dress better than me, whatever. There's always going to be some guy out there that's going to be better than me, you know, in certain aspects. And ladies definitely should try to get that guy. If he's available, definitely. If he's available, try to get him, right? That's the end of the video.